Welcome back to our channel. I'm Crystal.
And I'm Marshall.
And today we're going to talk about Royal Caribbean's Key program. You may have heard about it, wondering what it is. Well, in this video, we're going to explain what it is, what its benefits are, and which benefits we like best. And then the big question, is it worth it?
Yes, and it's not as black and white as you think.
So to help you figure out if the Key program is right for you, first let's talk about what it is. It's basically a VIP pass to help get you onto the ship faster, and also there are benefits while you're on board.
Yes, it kind of allows folks access to some suite benefits and even benefits that the suite folks don't have without having to put down all that money to get a suite. So it really nicely bridges the gap in certain circumstances.
Yeah, I think we've traveled in all types of rooms, and that's one of the factors which we'll get into later.
We're focusing on the Key program today, but if you've cruised on other cruise lines, you'll hear other VIP programs that are similar, such as First to Fun and other little names that they have for the similar type of programs.
The benefits of the Key program include priority boarding when you are at the day of embarkation. You go to get on, there's a special key line. On your set sail pass, it will indicate if you have purchased the Key program or not, and they will check for that, and if so, you go straight into the fast lane.
Yes, it's great to be able to skip some of the lines, especially if you're getting there at the time where the high volume time. And it's intangible to just feel like you're getting something special, and you are treated just slightly more special being in that fast, line for the VIPs and the suite folks. And it sets the tone for your first day of cruising.
Yeah, and so also there's a specific boarding time that's a little earlier for the Key program, because the second benefit is that you get a Key lunch in the dining room, and it's usually from 12 to 1:30.
That first meal is called now the Key Signature Menu. It borrows heavily from Chops Grill and some other places. So if you want to start your day with a nice choice steak, whether it's filet mignon or whatever they have, it's a benefit. Even for us who are not, we're vegetarians, there's usually something special that may be something from Giovanni's table or something else. So there's something special for everyone, no matter what you prefer to eat.
Also, when you go to that Key lunch, you can drop off your carry-on bag, luggage, whatever, at the dining room, and they will deliver it to your room. So that's in addition to dropping your suitcase off at the porter, you can drop off your carry-on bag in the dining room and they'll take it to your room.
Right. Now, when you're done eating, you're pretty close to when the rooms are available, but they're not quite ready yet. Maybe more importantly, you can pack some more stuff in a carry-on or two that you may want to use throughout the day, as your luggage is not guaranteed to show up until 5, 6 o'clock. A lot of times luggage gets there sooner, but it's just another nice feature that allows you to walk around the ship knowing that some essential luggage pieces will be in your room. Some smaller benefits for some, but maybe larger for others, are just priority access. First, you have priority access or special hours for some of the activities that Royal Caribbean is famous for. So if you want to make sure that you can get your laps up and down the rock climbing wall, this will give you a special hour, not every day, but every couple days, that are just for Key members. If you are, and I've seen people use this a lot, if you're a flow rider person that you want to get to use it as much as possible, those lines can get long, and you'll have dedicated hours if you are part of the Key program to use the Flow Rider.
Yeah, that's not a benefit I've ever used. I'll admit, we've done the quick access to get on board and the meal and dropping off our carry-on luggage, but although we haven't you used the rock climbing benefit. I did not, and I didn't use the flow rider.
And every time we do have the key, I think this is my time to really ace the flow rider, and I have yet to use those hours.
That's true.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is it. I'll just yo-yo and get really good, but not yet.
But the benefit we have used and have enjoyed is there's also specialty seating at the shows. So that includes the theater, the Aqua Theater, Studio B, which is the ice skating shows, and then also something else I'm forgetting. Oh, if like in 270 or basically any of the shows on whatever ships, whatever special theaters they might have, you'll have specialty seating.
Yeah, and truth be told, for us, we have our special places. So many times for the big theater, we will not use those special, that area for the key. But I'll tell you, the last time we had the key and we walked into an ice skating show, we were looking around, not knowing exactly where we wanted, and where they had the reserved seating was perfect. It was like the ice skaters were performing their 40 minutes directly at us. So, you may not use it every time, but it's there, and sometimes it may be the best seats in the house.
If you do purchase the key program, on your C-Pass, there'll be a little key symbol. So when you're going into the specialty seating areas or whatever, they'll just confirm that you have purchased the key.
Yeah, it's easy, simple once you purchase it, and it's no one ever blinks an eye because they can see it on your card.
Now, the other benefit, which is big for us, is you get free Wi-Fi for each person that has purchased the key. So that's probably the biggest benefit for us, which is actual monetary value.
Hands down, it is, besides that beginning access to just board fast and get to your vacation, the internet, as you said, is our number one reason why we would get the key. So we've covered benefits getting on the ship. We've covered benefits when you're doing activities and shows, but there are a number of other benefits that we should mention, including, again, priority access to, if you do have a tender port, you can get off, be the first to get off and get on that first tender, which may be a really big benefit, but it really depends on the excursion that you're taking. If you're taking an early excursion, they're going to make sure you're off in time. If you're taking a leisurely excursion of your own, just walking around or doing whatever, it will guarantee you first off and first in the port.
So then on debarkation day, which is usually a sad moment for us, you can have a special a la carte breakfast, and then also you can leave when you want, and you can also skip those lines, which we've been grateful for at times.
That, you know what, they don't say this. You can skip the lines, and you also have a special place for your luggage. And usually it's a little bit closer, and you can get off whenever you want, and your luggage is over in that key section. Going back to the breakfast, just be aware that specialty breakfast could be anywhere from a specialty restaurant to a special area of the dining room. Really depends on the ship and what's available.
Now, let's dig into the value question. Is it worth it? So one thing to keep in mind is that everyone in your stateroom who's over 6 years old needs to purchase the key. So if for us, we would purchase two, obviously. If we had a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, the price would double because now there's 4 people who need to purchase it for. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yes, and there's 2 things. There's that intangible I told you about, like knowing that you just that first day you want to be first on the ship and be treated just a little bit more special. And so there's no value there. But then you have to think about what's the real value. So we won't go through every single piece, but a specialty lunch is maybe $20, $25 a person if you were doing that separately. And then, as we said, the big thing would be the internet. And if you could find a good deal, maybe the internet is $15, $20 a day per person. So all of a sudden you start adding these things up and you have to look to see what the price of the key per day is.
Okay, so about that, for us, as far as the internet, we don't always need the internet when we're on board a ship. So sometimes we just don't even purchase it. And fortunately, in the loyalty program at Royal Caribbean, we are Diamond Plus. So we each get one device for 2 days for free. So that is a big help. But if we are working on board, like we did our last transatlantic, we worked for the whole first week.
Right.
We needed access to the internet for 2 devices. So that's something we would consider. So we compare the price of the internet per day versus the price of the key per day, and we'll make a decision from there. I looked up our next three cruises that we have coming up, and I compared the price of the internet to the price of the key. And for some of them, there was a more significant difference, but the one we did purchase, the internet, we do need the internet because we are going to be working. And we found that the price of the internet versus the price of the key was only $5 difference. So purchased for that one. The others, the price difference was more significant, and for one of them, we're going to be in a suite anyway, so you already get priority boarding and priority seating, so it's not worth it to us to buy the key for that cruise.
Yeah, you know, you can, by all means, feel free to give a value to everything that we talked about. But for us, I think it's really much easier to look at the difference between the biggest expense, which would be the internet, and the cost of the key. And whether it's $5 or $10 for 2 people, then you can sit back and say, is that amount? And I'm making this number up. Let's say it's $12 difference per day. All right, 7-day cruise, 80 some odd dollars, and then look at all the other benefits. Is it worth it to you to say for $80 more, I get priority boarding, I get a meal, a sit-down meal, so you're not working against all the other people trying to eat at the buffet when you first board? Are all those things worth the price difference? And I think that makes it pretty easy for us without having to dollars and cents every single little thing.
Yeah. And also the room type makes a big difference. So if you're already in a cruise,
Sweet.
if you're already in a suite, you're already going to get a lot of the benefits anyway. But yeah, hopefully some of these considerations and all this information has been helpful to you and helping you to determine if it's right for you.
Yeah. You know, honestly, I love a lot of the key benefits, but as you said, we're only doing it once out of the next 3, and that may be our typical balance, that we do it maybe once out of every 3 times.
Keep in mind, we don't know what the numbers are or the percentages are, but Royal Caribbean does only sell so many VIP passes per cruise. So for us, we knew that for that cruise in November, we absolutely needed the internet, and we absolutely want to cash in on that sale where it was only a $5 difference. So we went ahead and purchased it yesterday so that we're locked in.
Right. I mean, the price may drop. We can always reprice it as we do with other excursions. But, you know, let's get it locked down, and we know we have it, and we won't dread the moment when it says sold out. So I thought that was a good strategy.
Yeah. And I saw that price did fluctuate from one day to the next. So if you find a good price and you know you need it or you're going to want it, just go ahead and lock it in, get it purchased.
Yes, and if it's too high, just keep on checking, because they will have sales, and it absolutely may drop before you set off on your cruise.
Excellent point.
Thanks.
So we hope this was helpful. If you have purchased the key, or if you think of reasons why people shouldn't, or if they should, or some other aspect that we haven't considered or shared today, please leave it in the comments below.
Absolutely. We also shared that we're going on 3 cruises. We're actually going on a lot more cruises. So this would be the time, if you haven't, hit the subscribe button. We'd appreciate it. And we're really about to amp up our travels over the next year. So we look forward to sharing with you a whole bunch of videos all across in the Caribbean and over into Europe.
So stay tuned.
Bye.